is up, and welcome back to another hashtag Lockboss show and giveaway. As you've seen in the advertisements here, we're going to have a few special guests coming up here in just a few short moments. I don't know, maybe even a confession or two. I don't know, Julio, get ready for that music. And well, before we get going though, I'm going to be drinking a Topo Chico. Cheers to all you out there as well who are drinking a Topo, or your favorite beverage of choice. And happy Tuesday. All right. Well, let's go ahead. We're going to have a lot of fun here, so I better not delay and kind of hop right in it here. So let me go ahead and bring on Mr. John Trumpy. John, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
Oh, wow. Cheers. I like it. Yes. And thanks for popping on. And we also have Adrian.
Only Shasta for me. They were, I think PJ bought all the Topos in Montana and shipped them to Idaho.
Yeah. I can't confirm or deny that I typically have cases. But, well, perfect. So thank you both for coming on. And I kind of want to, like we had in the past, I'm going to bring up the slides and we'll kind of go through it together. I kind of may have a meme or so that I want to talk about with both of you. And so let me go ahead and get it pulled up here. All right. All right, here we go. Meme of the week. When you're already pressed for time and the new guy calls with another question. Can either one of you relate to this?
Oh, yeah. Numerous times.
Absolutely. We actually have a brand new apprentice. And he calls with questions. And they're good questions. I'm glad he calls. But, yeah, sometimes you're in the middle of something.
Yes, yeah, it's actually never the fact, right, that people are calling and have questions. It's like what you're trying to do in a short amount of time that makes it exciting. Let's use the word exciting.
Absolutely.
Right?
Plus, when they give you the question you have to think about.
Yes, a question you have to think about. I mean, John, maybe in your case, it could be a little something different on there. When you're already pressed for time. And someone calls and needs a whole new building rekeyed?
Oh, 4 buildings rekeyed.
4 buildings. John, I'm kind of feeling like, do you need a confession here? Do we need to put the confession? Does Julio need to put the confession music on for you?
I just think since we know Adrian is quicker, we know that for a fact. I just think Adrian needs to take the time, fly to Philly, and help me out here. We're friends. And it would be the minimum. Come on, buddy. I need your help. It's all small format. You can do it. And we know you're quicker.
Okay.
I'll bring the Bozeman vibes to Philly.
Well, Julio, thanks for queuing that up. That was therapeutic for John to do that. And so, hey, we're all here in support. We're all here in support. All right, moving along here. Let's go. Lockboss comment of the week. This one comes from Robert Patton 4027. Too easy. That was a job well done. And thanks for the tips regarding the split year and chips. Yeah, you got it. Ian did a pretty gosh darn good job, although I would have liked to see Billy do it, honestly. But, I guess that's another story for another day. Let's go ahead and move on to the, I guess we'll call it the main event. And coming up right around the corner here in about, 3-4 weeks,
yep.
Is the ALOA 2023 Expo, or Security Convention, I guess would be the more proper term.
The best,
and so
best
what
show in the
I've done.
industry.
What's that?
best show in the industry.
Yes, exactly. And so what I wanted to do here is bring both John and Adrian on. Hopefully they're familiar faces to you, and talk about it a little bit. But before we go there, and even though John's already given a confession, let's go ahead, if I could have each of you introduce yourselves, let everybody know what you do for a living, and then also what your position is at ALOA.
Okay. For the day job, I am the lead locksmith at the University of Pennsylvania here in Philadelphia. For ALOA, I am a division president, which is I run the institutional division, which is locksmiths that work for hospitals, universities, colleges, prisons. And on the ALOA board, I happen to chair the CET, which is Convention, Education, and Technologies Committee.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so my daytime job is at Montana State University. I'm a locksmith here full time. And as far as the ALOA organization, I am the Northwest Regional Director. So I'm a board member and cover the Northwest all the way up to the Arctic Circle is my region.
Okay.
I'm still trying to find a locksmith in none of it.
So as far as the ALOA and the show goes, right, we know it's in Orlando, Florida this year, and it's August 6th through the 12th, technically, right?
Yes.
Correct.
So the education starts at the beginning of the week, runs for a full week, and then at the end of the week starts the trade show, which runs Friday and Saturday.
Okay. And something I'm kind of most curious about, and we'll kind of dive into this a little bit, is before both of you were on the board, I'm guessing that you would go to these conventions, as in your both cases, institutional locksmiths. And I'm curious at what made each of you want to go as an attendee.
Years ago, you went to the shows to get your literature, to get your things. Now I go, and not just to the ALOA show, to the local convention, the local show, because when else do you have an opportunity to have 1,000 people who want to talk about the same thing you want to talk about? I mean, we come home, we talk to our spouse. Our spouse doesn't want to hear about the quality of a lock or the lack of quality of a lock, or when we were talking, Adrian and I instantly, as soon as I said a building master missing, look at the smile on his face because he knows my pain. You're in a group of 1,000 people that all can relate, and that's what I think is the big draw for conventions nowadays, is the camaraderie between professionals. There is the top-notch education. There is the product shows, new products that are not even been announced or shown at the show. But for me personally, it's bumping into someone in the hallway or at lunch, or just the camaraderie of someone who loves an industry as much as I do, to talk to just commiserate.
Sure. Yeah, and John, if we need that confession music again, I got it here for you. All right. No, I'm just fine. What? So, Adrian, could you tell us a little bit about your journey, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a bit of an anniversary for me, because this year's convention in Orlando is the same location as my first convention back in 2016, and it's a great venue. Really excited to go back and be at this venue. It was a part of my training, a part of my apprenticeship with the university. I went and did a 5-day class actually offsite. It wasn't at the Dallas headquarters, but it was in up in Green Bay. But then, as a part of our apprenticeship program, we go to the conventions and take classes and go to the trade show and see the new things that are out there. And like John said, that's where you get to meet some of these people that you've maybe chatted with online, where folks that you've seen on things like this or listened to on a podcast. So my first few conventions were a part of my training per se. And then I have continued to ask to go, much for the same reasons that John has mentioned. You know, I've met people, people that I've looked up to in the industry, and to get to ask people questions, it's intimidating the first time you go, especially if you don't know anybody, right? But very quickly you find folks that share, commiserate some of the things that you, even for me as a first time attendee, 8 years ago, I was like, wow, I know what you're talking about. So to go back and share that and learn from people, I learn something new every time I go.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. It's it's one of those that it's really awesome to have such a concentrated group of people who, do the same type of work. So, we have some questions coming in here. At the same time, it's kind of going on along with my next question, which is, pull this up here. This is from Vernon. Vernon, how's it going? He asks, is there any fee to go to just the trade show, not a member?
If you early register, there is not. I'm trying to think if this year's form, if there's a fee on at the door registration. But if you early register, no.
There should, I believe there's a small fee, $30, $20, $35 to attend the show if you're registering.
Okay. What and which kind of brings me to my next point I wanted to kind of touch on, John, if you could, a little bit, as far as the ALOA scholarship goes.
Okay, so scholarships are actually closed this year. We have 10 recipients that have been chosen already.
Cool.
They're picked 90 days out, so there is no opportunity for this year. But as you said, I am also, besides my ALOA board responsibilities, I am president of the ALOA Scholarship Foundation, which is, although it shares a name with ALOA, actually is not part of ALOA. It is a separate charitable organization, and we accept applications for people who wish to further their education, and we will pay from everything from transportation, housing, and of course the classes. And it's not just ALOA events. It's not just the ALOA convention. We give scholarships to the SAFTA. We give scholarships to the local associations. It is a great opportunity to for the new people coming in, or the person who is changing careers, not changing careers, but changing direction. You may be a locksmith, you may be an automotive locksmith, and decide you want to do safes. Well, if you're struggling, we are there to help.
Okay. And so I would say anyone who is watching this live now or recorded later, if that's even a consideration of something that maybe you want to apply to, John, where would they go to apply?
Okay, so even though we're a separate organization, ALOA does support us. So you just go to aloha.org, and at the very top of the screen, there's a button called ASF. And you click the ASF, it's in with all the divisions, and there you can read all the rules and regulations. We do have certain conditions that have to be met in order to qualify for a scholarship. And then you send all that in, and then it's reviewed by a board of directors. So the application is there. Everything is there. All the information. You know, there are things such as financial. You have to have certain financial needs and stuff like that.
Okay. And it's one of those that, although it's closed this year, next year, people will be able to start applying to. When would you say is the best time to apply for that next year?
Well, you have to get it in before the 90-day deadline.
Okay, so they
90
could
days,
essentially, in a few months, like September, they could submit their application.
They absolutely could.
Okay. So if any of you are on the fence and maybe considering it, go to ALOA, check it out. Top right hand, you said?
It's actually at the very top of the screen. It is the fourth red button over. So you have SAFTA, IAIL, AIL, and then ASF.
Okay. So click on the ASF button, check it out. And if that's something you're looking at wanting to apply for, go ahead and just do it, and kind of see what happens. And is it like, do we know where it's going to be next year? I know this is about the one in a month, but do we know next year? Like, is that official yet?
Where ALOA will be next year, we'll be back in Las Vegas.
It'll
be at the Silver Legacy again. Not Silver Legacy.
Okay.
South Point.
South Point. Thank you.
South Point.
Silver Legacy is where we held the SAFTA convention, yes.
Perfect. Yeah. It looks like
Thank you again, Adrian, for saving me.
That's where the aging locksmith goes, to the Silver Legacy.
Yes. I resemble that remark.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Now, I guess so if you're looking at the scholarship, go ahead and check that out for sure. Kylie put a link in the notes below. Let me pop it back up on the screen here, or in the chat box, I should say. Go ahead and check that out. It's there to be helpful. So if it's something you think you might qualify for or be interested in, make sure you check that out.
They can also come to the booth. We have a booth on the ALOA floor for ASF.
That's right.
Yep. So come over, talk to us.
Apply for it. Even if you're not sure, check it out. It's a great thing. It brings a lot of folks are able to benefit from that.
It does. Yeah, it's a really good thing. Over this past year, I know we have here at CLK contributed to it and plan to do that again in the future. So it's good. So I guess a couple questions I have for you both is, so it was in Orlando a couple years ago. Is it at the same hotel?
No, we chose a different hotel this year. We always send out proposals. We had some issues with that hotel, so we sought out a new hotel, and it's been moved.
Okay, cool. Because when I look at the pictures, like the little hotel pictures, I don't know about you guys, but what the hotel looks like in the picture and what it looks like in real life, it's like I'm not looking at the same angle. I'm like, is this the same? Is this different? Do you ever feel that way when you go to a hotel?
Absolutely.
Well, would you post a bad picture of yourself? Your staff may, but would you post a bad picture of yourself?
Oh, absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely.
The hotels are going to do the same thing.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, so I was looking at it, it's like, is this the same place? Is it not? I couldn't really tell. So yeah, it'll be, hey, a new adventure, Yep. Well, good stuff here. Looks like we got a comment from Lucky Strike. How's it going? It says, I'd love to learn safe work. I have very little knowledge about safes compared to everything else. It's a great specialty to have in a business. Got to check out those scholarships. Absolutely. That's really cool.
There's even a safe track for classes at this convention, so you don't have to wait just for safe tech. You can take safe classes.
If you're starting in safes, it's a really good place to start is at the ALOA convention. Get the basic training there. Some of the training at SAFTA is, of course, more advanced. It's like our automotive advance. We have automotive track. We have automotive classes at ALOA. If you're just starting an automotive, ALOA might be the place to start, and then when a month later, go to the automotive. It's at the specialty conventions are always going to be more advanced classes. So if you're just starting out, start out at ALOA where safe classes, investigative classes, automotive classes, general locksmithing, business classes are all offered. And then if you wish to follow through with the track, then go to one of the specialty conventions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Speaking of, while we're at it, while we're talking about all things ALOA and conventions, I was telling both of you before we started going here that I just got some sort of ALOA magazine in the mail. Forgive me for not knowing the name of it, but there was this new convention coming up in the beginning of September, or I guess maybe middle of September. A bunch of initials. Remember, I went to public school, so I'm not good at exactly knowing what that was. Something about it's a International Automotive something association.
So the initials are IAAL. And I'll tell you, even us board members are getting sick of the initials. So we just simply call it the automotive division. The same as we call IAIL, the investigative division. AIL, we simply call it the institutional or the best division, the greatest division ever. Don't get bogged down in the initials. It's the automotive convention. ALOA's having a separate event. They started a separate division just for people who focus on automotive. ALOA has underrepresented that group for many, many years. And we are now going to be having our own event, top-notch instructors, and everything else.
Yeah, and I guess maybe at another time, I'd love to know, out of curiosity, the reason for wanting to not just wrap that into the big ALOA convention instead of doing something separate. But I mean, we can leave that for another day.
We can give you the exact reason of that. Is because automotive is so specialized. It's like safes is so specialized, or investigative is so specialized. When you have a convention devoted to that, all the focus is on that. You can run the super advanced classes. It's like there's no distraction. At the automotive event, there's not going to be safe classes. At the safe classes, there's no automotive classes. And all the attendees are interested in that subject. As I said, the camaraderie of locksmiths. Well, safe technicians have the same kind of camaraderie. Automotive people.
True.
I mean, Adrian and I are the worst people to talk about automotive. I got out of automotive when VATS was new. That's how long I've been out of automotive.
Okay.
But
back when the Flintstones were driving?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. Just about. You were making me feel old when you were saying your 2016 convention was your first one. I won't tell you which number it was for me.
Yeah.
But
well, it's like Foothill Frontier says institutional locksmiths really are the best, if I say so myself.
There you go.
We are.
There you go. We're the funniest.
There we go. We got Dylan has a question here. Dylan, how's it going? He says, do you know if any Canadians attend?
We always have a huge contingency of Canadian. We get people from all over the world.
Yep.
It's
big international. There's a good time to meet international folks there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there is actually a reception for international people only.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Cocktails. Sorry, PJ, you don't know about it, but we know where you live.
Yeah, there you go.
You wouldn't know about that event, but our international people, there is a separate event so that they can build camaraderie with people that are from outside the United States.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually really cool. So as far as the automotive one goes, I have to see.
By the way, PJ, we also don't invite you to the women in locksmithing event. Also,
well, I don't think
for the same kind of reason.
Well, I don't think my feelings are going to get hurt today. Okay, so I think we're good. But full confession, Julio. Probably don't have to play the music here, but when I saw in the second page of the little pamphlet that I had talked about the automotive one, I saw our name was on the list of those who were invited to exhibit at the trade show at the automotive one, and I have to confess, I don't ever remember seeing any of that information. And so I don't know, honestly, what we're going to do. I have to figure out how long does it take for our trade show pallet to come back and ship out? Are you guys transportation experts?
So Shepard would be handling both. Shepard is the decorator for both events. So I'm sure we can work something out. And since you just told 2 board members you didn't get the information, I'm sure Adrian and I will be zipping off emails for your benefit tomorrow. Adrian looks like Adrian is typing as we speak.
Hey, Adrian's going for
it. It is in my region, so apologies if I didn't tell you when I was there this spring. Hey, by the way.
Oh, it's all good. I do have to put up my dad looks like he's on here, and man,
the Lockfather harsh.
Lockfather is here.
Yes. But well, perfect. Do either one of you have anything else you would like to talk about? All things ALOA, the convention coming up. Of course, any of you who are going to be there or plan to attend, of course, myself and I think 5 others on our staff will be there. Plus, you'll be able to meet Adrian in person, John in person, and just have a good old time.
Yeah. We also have the IAIL events. It's kind of a podcast. It's more than a podcast. It's a webinar strictly for those members. We're doing online now. We're doing them once a month. I'm trying to think of the name. I'm going to cheat here. Forensic Fridays webinar. That is huge. Now that is restricted to investigative members. And Adrian forgot to mention that he is co-chair of the membership committee. And I don't think there's a day that my inbox is not bombarded with massive conversations. So ALOA has really been trying to recognize the wants and needs of our members. And Adrian and other members of that committee have been very, very active. You may be seeing some new benefits, some new services, some new structure to the ALOA membership very soon. I can't speak of them yet. It's still in committee, but
I feel like I'm running for office. Are we taking donations?
There is some. You left it out that you were on membership committee, my friend.
Correct.
So maybe we need confession on that one. But there is some big things coming from the ALOA membership committee.
Yeah, without giving away the double top secret information coming. The membership committee has been working very, very hard to retool our membership packages and how we touch the folks that are members of our organization and those that we would like to have as members of our organization. So expect some great things to be coming out from ALOA, and I'm happy to have been a part of that.
Wonderful. Well, this is a safe place. It's just the 3 of us and the internet live.
Correct.
It's a very safe place to talk about what you'd like.
We would love to do that. The problem is if we speak of what's going on in the board, sometimes the beginning product is not the end product, and that's just
Sure.
not fair to our membership, to and everything on the board. It's a very active board. The ALOA board we currently have is phenomenal. They are going off in many different directions. We're working constantly. It always is. What is in the best interest of the members. It's really fantastic. But we're sorry we can't say, well, we're thinking about doing this, because in the end that may not be what ends up being produced, or another idea. A lot of this is ideas bouncing back and forth and stuff like that. So things come out.
Stanley G, welcome aboard.
Sure. Yeah, Stanley G. Stanley
welcome.
G. Yeah, very cool. But
yeah, I mean, like John said, there's some great stuff coming. We're working hard on it. Really focused on this convention coming up here in just a couple of weeks, 20-ish days. Pretty excited if you can make it. Looking forward to we got 14 or so classes every day.
Another board member's in there. Wayne's in the chat. Hello, Wayne.
Yeah. 40, 50, 60 different exhibitors. Really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. And I want to say I really appreciate both of you coming on, hanging out, joking around a little bit, talking about it. And in all seriousness, it's great that both of you are on the board, kind of doing your things. I've had private conversations with both of you, and it's just really great to have both of you working towards the best to the best outcome for those in the industry, and both kind of trying to shape it or help move it in a direction that both of you see fit, and it takes courage to do that. And because you're always going to get the other side of it as well. So thank you both
there's no compensation for being on the ALOA board. You do it because you love the industry.
That's right.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? Let's go out with one more question here. Let me put it up here. Why not? Here we go. So Newhouse Lock and Key says, why is it so complicated to join ALOA?
I think this should go right to the membership co-chair.
That's fantastic. Yeah, throw a fat one up there for me to smack out of the park. I'd be curious to know where the pinch point is. Maybe it's because I think it's because we're trying to offer so much. It is a vetted club isn't the right word to use, but a vetted organization, right? We've got to make sure that you are who you say you are. There's background check that's involved. And we are an international organization. It's not just in the lower 48. My region runs up through Canada and Alaska. We've got members from Europe and Asia and South America. It's a worldwide organization. So I think that it's complicated because we are trying to touch all of the different things that locksmiths do, right? We have a lot of different divisions, and sometimes you just don't know where you need to be. And how many years are we going on here now? We're getting close to 70. We've been doing it for quite some time, and COVID really showed a lot of us what we're looking at, and how do we clean up some of the things of the way we've been doing things, right? So a great question as far as, I would be curious, Newhouse Lock and Key, where you ran into a complication. That I think is also where it falls on to the board members and these regional board members to make contact with folks If you don't know if you are a part of ALOA, reach out.
Newhouse, could you type in the chat what state you're from or where you're at?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because my question would be is if someone like Newhouse is like, man, it's complicated to join. What's the best thing for them to do? Is to figure out who their regional director is, email them.
We have a full-time staff member, and we have 2 staff members just handle membership. They can always call the ALOA office. The membership staff member's name is Kevin. He's a wonderful gentleman. He will answer your questions. You can always call the ALOA office, and your call will be routed to where it is, member or non-member. And it's kind of disheartening to hear that it's complicated to join. And Adrian, I know, is going to want to know, and membership and the entire board going to want to know what is complicated about it, because we don't want to make it complicated. Now, like as Adrian said, we do have it is a vetted membership. So if that's where the complication comes in, or is it just, are you having trouble locating the application, or do you not have the contact information?
Sure.
Yeah. Great question.
Absolutely. And 2 more real quick, and we'll get out of here. This one is from George. How's it going, George? If it's international, shouldn't it be ALO with E being Earth? I like it, actually. Yeah. I mean, for us in Idaho, I mean, we get that, okay?
Yeah.
And then let's see here. Kevin Bacon has to go from Blue Line Locksmith. Do the ALOA conventions ever make it to the eastern states? So I guess he's made in more like New England style.
So I don't know if a convention will ever be in New England, simply because we have a summer convention, and all the convention places in Boston and stuff like that, that is our most expensive time of the year. So to save our members money and make it affordable to as many people as possible, if you ever notice, we go to the hottest places on Earth at the hottest time of the year.
Yes,
we would not be able to hold a convention in Orlando in February, because the cost would just be too much for our general membership. Now he's in Virginia. You should have remembered that we've had conventions in Baltimore for a number of years. We had a convention just in right outside of DC a few years ago. We do look at other areas. Chicago area is always a popular one. ALOA is also trying to bounce back. I don't want to say bounce back, because we weren't not bouncing from pandemic. And Las Vegas is always our most popular show. Orlando is always a popular show. It's a place where you can combine it into a vacation. So we're not ignoring the Northeast. We're definitely not ignoring Virginia, because we have had ones in Baltimore before. We had ones in right outside of DC before. And we look every time we're planning a convention, we do a full nation search. We try to keep to a pattern of east west or east central west, so that as many members are within driving distance. We try to get in everyone's area. We have been slightly in a rut with Vegas and Orlando, but trust me, that is being looked at. But it's the 2 most popular for our membership, so you got to balance everything out.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, remember, if I could vote for it, which if you guys want to put my name in the hat, you can for that. But Vegas every year would be amazing.
Well, we also, we have had that recommendation. We actually have members who are very religious. they will not do the Las Vegas convention. We would never lock in knowing that we are specifically excluding certain members.
Sure, but is it okay if I still put my vote in for that?
You can
though?
put your vote in, but I will tell you flat out that has actually been discussed. Some of the other trade associations have done exactly that. Since Vegas is the biggest draw, they've stopped having conventions other places. ALOA has discussed it. And I'll tell you flat out, at this point, we have said no, because we are not going to be an organization that ever knowingly excludes any member.
Understood.
But I'm on your side. I do love Vegas.
But yeah, I mean, as long as I can put as long as if I can put my vote in, right? I mean, that's where I'm voting. But anyways, yeah. So perfect. I put Newhouse's answer on the screen there. So yeah. We'll.
I see that. That's I can see how that would be confusing, especially if you're not 100% sure where you land, and that's where it would be on us to say, hey, if you're not sure, just joining ALOA as a base would be your starting point, right? Do you think you're in one division or the other? You don't have to be in a division. They're there if you want to focus. But yeah, and we do have some business memberships. There are some requirements for that. But most members are individual.
Okay. Shanti, hopefully that helps answer your question. But well, yeah, I mean, I think I feel like we've been playing the question game for a while, and I don't want to wear both of you out yet. But
Adrian and I love talking about this stuff. We get off your thing, and then him and I talk about this stuff more. So we're not, we love talking about ALOA. We love talking about the industry.
Awesome. Well, it's good.
But you want to go home, and we understand that.
Oh no, I'm good. It's still work day over here. It's still work day.
It's still light. It'll be light out until 9:30. You can still hit the golf ball around.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, my daughter today got her learner's permit where she can drive with a parent in the car for the next, for 40 hours. She has to do it for. She's been texting me all afternoon, Dad, can you please go golf so I can drive you there? I'll even golf with you, which she never wants to do. But well, anyways, yeah, I think it's really great to have both of y'all kind of talking about it, all the different questions and the feedback. I want to thank all of our people who are on live with us right now for asking all of the great questions. I mean, I feel like we kind of got a few things accomplished today without trying too hard. So very cool. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, PJ.
Thank you.
And absolutely. Well, yeah, we'll get on here to the giveaway winners. And then I have a wonderful special announcement for what's going on next week. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Let's see here. Julio, if you could put some giveaway music jamming, and let's announce this week's winners. All right, let's make sure we're all on the same page here. What to do if you win. You're going to email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989 and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Just comment on our videos with the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's video for our weekly giveaway. You will also be entered in to win one of 3 Lockboss bench setups, which include a JMA Burna Simply, a Pro 3000 Universal Pinning Kit, and a Lockboss pinning mat. And those 3 winners will be chosen on September 7th, 2023. Here we go. Winner number 1 is Kurt O. Lock and Key. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Winner number 2 is Mike S. Mike, congratulations. Winner number 3 is Don Akers. Congrats, Don. Winner number 4 is Scorcher 617. Congrats. And last but not least, winner number 5 is Derek Oakleberry. Derek, congratulations.
All right. Congratulations, winners.
And of course, we have our new Prox Key Tea available for purchase or free with orders over $387.23. I think they picked those weird amounts just so I have to say it every week. But that's going to be good stuff. And, as a matter of fact, I've been actually going back and forth wearing just not this one, but that one as well. So it doesn't look like I wear the same shirt every day, which actually tends to make my kids really happy for some weird reason. But, so that's what we have going on for this show. Make sure when you get your winnings, well, first of all, you contact us. And when you get your winnings, to send us pictures. We love to see them. And the last announcement I have for next week's live, we're going to have a special guest, all right? And this special guest is actually the first ever CLK employee. And so he lives in Africa now, and he's actually back here in town. And he's going to be coming on live next week, and we're going to be talking about, I guess you would call it back in the day when it was just he and I. So it'll be a lot of fun. Who knows what the amount of stories we'll be telling, but I promise it's going to be a good one. But once again, thank you to John and Adrian and everybody watching and hanging out and asking questions. Well, good show, good people. I like it. So thank you both.
Our pleasure.
You're very welcome, PJ. Thank you so much again for hosting and giving us a platform to share our organization and our love for this industry.
Absolutely. Yep. Glad to have you both. And maybe we'll do an after show after the show's over. Kind of dig into it a little bit, maybe at the show. I don't know. We'll just kind of see. But everybody, have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you same place, same time next week.